Welcome to Make It Submerged, an Australian Survivor podcast. I'm Kirsty.
I'm Sophie.
And I'm Will.
Wow, it's been another week of Survivor, another 3 sensational episodes, another boatload of inexplicable decisions, and I cannot wait to discuss them all. So I think we should just start straight away. Episode 1 of the week. My kind of initial thoughts of the episode was that I am just loving the editing on it this season. This whole Milky Way miracle montage that they had going for Rich was like one of my favorite things ever. What did you guys think?
Yeah, absolutely. Like the flashbacks. Yeah. And was it in black and white, the flashbacks? Or was it? And there was the music, and I don't remember ever seeing anything like that before.
No, they've really gone for it this time with the editing.
Yeah, I was a big fan.
It was like a stars aligning moment, just the perfect way to kind of kick off the episode, I think. And then pretty soon after that, we move on to this really great scene of Nash where he's like, first of all, he's like fumbling around in a hammock, which I feel like is just all of us not able to get out of those things. They are hectic. And then we have the kind of fake crying montage where he just puts it all on the line and goes all out, doesn't he?
He went full method.
Yeah.
Again.
He's like, I'm very good at crying.
Yeah. I actually thought it was working for a time. People did seem to be rallying around him.
I believed him at first, didn't you?
Yeah.
It was very believable.
I really liked when you had Jessie doing the rap, and then it kept cutting to shots of Nash in the hammock looking devastated.
Yeah, Jessie doing the rap just made it clear again. We really need more Zen time, don't we?
There was like a wee snippet from the opening that I'm sad didn't go anywhere. And it was when Noonan and Polly were discussing his idol, and they were hunting for it and obviously couldn't find it because he's already got it. And Noonan was saying, oh, do you think it's like in the sand? Are we going to have to dig for it? And I was very sad we didn't get like an extended montage of them digging for the idol.
Yeah, I'm really wondering how long Paulie can keep up this charade for, because there's going to come a point where that idol does not appear anywhere that they've been hunting for it, and he has it.
Yeah, but it's not really been mentioned since.
No,
I don't think.
Unless they have just been digging, but there's so much other footage going on from the other tribes that they've not been able to show us.
Yeah, I mean, it's been chaotic, I guess.
It has.
And then I was also surprised when Noonan said that if she found it first, she wouldn't tell him.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
I missed that, I think. Well, just right then, Paulie's keeping it to himself.
Yeah.
Not long after that, we move on to the reward challenge, which in my opinion actually looked like it should have been a final immunity challenge. We had the pegs, we had endurance, we had shortening pegs that they needed to kind of move on to at set periods as indicated by Jono. What are your thoughts on the challenge?
Yeah, I thought that. Very final immunity. And also, why was it in pairs?
Yeah.
I mean, that, not even if it like final immunity, it was very like post-marriage challenge, isn't it? Like individual. It didn't really make sense for the pairs.
I'll tell you the reason it was in pairs, or at least my thought is because they wanted it to not go on ridiculously long.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
so yeah.
those challenges, like, you know, like you said, post-merge, you get people up there for like an hour or more.
I get you.
And
So
Jono does not have time for that.
No.
Not pre-merge.
Yeah, that's fair enough, actually. I mean, the challenge itself was full pain. It looked absolutely horrendous. Do you know when they're like getting off of, well, Nash is like one of the first ones to go, and do you know how they're like
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Do you know how they're like hobbling off the sand?
Yes.
That is literally what I look like after a netball game. Like full hobble. It looked severely painful.
Was Nash hobbling after the 30 seconds?
That's what I've written in my notes. Nash is all of us.
Did you like how the reward was called the sausage sizzle?
Yeah.
Fuzzy sizzle.
Fuzzy sizzle. And they keep calling them snags. I like
And
it.
also worth noting that the Brain's fire is out and Kent was their fire maker. So they shouldn't have voted him out, should they?
Yeah, R.I.P. Kent. I also really liked when Rich said, no pain, no gain. And then like 30 seconds later, he was like, nah, I'm out. I can't do this.
The gain wasn't enough for him there.
He was also one of the people that pointed out that Kent was their fire maker.
Was he?
Yeah, they were also there. I was like, yeah, well, Kent was the one keeping it in.
Good old Kent. He lives on through the fire, or not?
He was fueling it with hats.
Yeah, that's the only way it stayed up.
So they get a wee choice from Jono, if you will, the winners, the brains. They can choose between the Sozzy Sizzle or Flint's. And they went for the Sozzy Sizzle.
Do you think they would have still made that decision if the sausage sizzle wasn't going to go to the other tribe? Yeah, I don't think they would either.
They would have gone for the Flint, I think, but they didn't want the other tribe fueled or getting their trait.
Exactly.
I get, to be honest.
I was really screaming at the TV at this point because I was thinking, this is the worst decision you could have made. You definitely need the Flint. But they do later prove that they can make fire.
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't such a bad decision after all.
In the end, it was a good decision, but it very easily could have gone the other way. I think they probably got quite lucky to make fire because we've seen how difficult it is in previous seasons. I know a lot of people now probably go into Survivor practicing how to make fire because we know it becomes a pivotal part of challenges at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they got lucky, to be honest. As we saw, actually, when the same person tried to make fire
You're right.
in a challenge.
Yeah, you are right. The Brawn tribe were absolutely beside themselves with the decision that the Brains tribe had made. Nash quoted, the brains weren't working then. And I was definitely in agreement with that when I was watching. But yeah, like you said, they do manage to get fire later.
Okay, so after the challenge, I think we go back to the Brains Beach. Rich takes Miles for a very unsubtle chat and he's putting together, he says, an alliance forged in risk and danger.
Love that.
Yep, and then, not subtle at all. And AG's pretty pleased because his plan to try and set Rich against the girls, that kind of worked because Rich got very riled up when he found out he was going to be on the chopping block. Yes. So he forges this bomb squad.
Yeah, I was really happy with this actually because I'd previously thought that AJ, well, and he says it himself, had completely blown his game up.
Torched it,
that was it.
Is that a new expression they've been saying, torched their game? Because I really like it.
I really like it too. It's kind of along the same lines as... cooked his gooses.
Torched it. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I like it because, you've got the fire analogy.
Yeah, but then blew his game up also works really well with the bomb squad analogy. But yeah, I was very happy to see that his game was not over and excited to see the formation of this new alliance.
So then we cut to the Brawns. And Nash is not pleased because everyone's just kicking back and treating it like a holiday.
Yeah. We've had that quote before from someone, I feel like. It
Nash in episode 1 with his idol?
It might well have been. People do not like other tribe members treating the beach like a holiday, that's for sure. So we get him going into this confession. He confesses to his sins. He threw the challenge. Now.
So he says,
but then you thought that he threw the challenge.
I did think he threw the challenge.
You said that.
But then the fact he didn't admit it straight away made me think, he was just rubbish.
What's worse, throwing a challenge when the rest of your tribe or alliance aren't in on it, or just being bad at a challenge? And I think it's better just to be bad at a challenge.
I think not your fault.
They might have forget about it, but then to bring it up again on day 5, was it? And then inexplicable. Why did he do this?
Do you know what makes it worse for me? Is he confessed to 2 athletes, and we all know that athletes do not like to lose.
They hate it. Yeah, so then we've got PD saying it seems crazy to him. I mean, it seemed crazy to me.
PD was an odd choice to tell, I feel.
But that's his alliance. That's Nash's alliance. It's PD, Kristen and Ursula. Well, so you think.
Yeah, I guess. I don't feel like PD's very on board with it.
There's just so many layers to this because firstly, we have this decision to actually throw the first challenge, which is a big play in itself. Yeah. And then the even more inexplicable decision to tell his alliance that he threw it.
Is unbelievable again from Nash.
Ursula, he was telling Ursula, and she was very close to going home.
She was. I feel like that really kind of solidified for her that she needed to get Nash out. She was not on board with this.
She was on board with the tactic, just not at that moment.
Oh yeah,
because she said herself, she was like, I'm actually up for that kind of chaotic gameplay, but that was not the time.
Episode 1, first challenge.
Yeah.
That has to, we've never seen someone do it as early as that before.
I mean, I really just feel like Nash said, I'm going all in and no one's going to stop me. And he did that.
He had like it was like we were saying about Ken, he had like a wee bucket list of items. He's going to find an idol, done within 5 minutes. Throw a challenge, done within the first challenge. Blow up his own alliance, done in the...
Check.
Just ticking it all off the list. Played an idol incorrectly.
Oh, yeah. Check. Fake idol. Check.
Didn't go home with one in his pocket, though. Not managed to take that off.
True, but that's not really something you would want on the bucket list, is it? But then I suppose you wouldn't really want to throw your whole alliance and blow up your game.
There's many things you wouldn't really want on your bucket list.
Yeah.
That Nash and Kent both managed to tick off.
True.
But all power to them.
I miss them so much already, but this is how these things go. Well, they've not happened yet in this episode. So main challenge then, the setup. To me, this actually looks like a reward challenge. I found it quite strange that it was an immunity one. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It felt quite rewardy. I kept forgetting that we were in the immunity. And this was really, really Miles's time to shine. It was a perfect example of when you underestimate a tribe mate.
Jesus Christ, that music that they played every time he stepped up.
Another example of fantastic editing.
Top tier. Absolutely brilliant.
Loved it. Loved every second of it. I really love as well when you get an underdog going up against an athlete.
Yeah.
Is PD an athlete?
I think he's at least a coach.
He's a soccer coach.
Yeah. The pressure gets to you, I think.
It does.
And it did not get to Miles.
No, and Jono was loving it because Jono was talking about his magic foot. And also when he announced the win, he shouted, Miles wins immunity for brains.
Yes.
I just love though when Jono calls that out because he doesn't do it very often, does he?
When you get Jono respecting.
I think Jono's always here for an underdog.
Yeah.
Because
I know.
there was even someone commenting before Miles took his first kick. It was like, oh, we shouldn't have Miles up there. We should have some. And then someone else was like, no, Miles plays soccer.
Yeah.
It's like, well, don't judge a book by its cover.
Okay, so Brains win the challenge in an epic victory for Miles and team. And then we are back to the Brawn tribe, who are obviously going to tribal council tonight. Nash, I really loved when he said to the camera, Nash mode activated. I just thought, yes, what is he going to do next? He also made another comment when he said, let's start World War III. And I just thought, is there anything more that you would love to hear a Survivor contestant say than they're going to start? Love it.
No, it's the dream, isn't it? Yeah. See, whenever someone says something like, I'm going to go in all guns blazing, or it's time for me to make my big move, or I'm going to really blow things up at Tribal tonight, you're like, yeah.
Here we go. What did you think of Nash making some top 2 promises?
That very early. Yeah. Very early.
Another Survivor box ticked. Right?
Yeah. He's not even made it past week 3.
He's not even made it past merge.
Yeah.
Like, that's normally when you start making take it to the end kind of offers, right?
Yeah, I think he was just getting really desperate, getting out all of the tools in his toolbox, anything he could think of that was a Survivor tactic. He was trying to throw it at the other members of the tribe.
There's some really quality stuff with Nash and Polly that I just thought was incredible. There was firstly when Nash was trying to convince Polly that they should vote out Morgan, and Polly was like, why? Nash was like, oh, she's not strong enough. And Polly was like, she's like an Olympian. She's an Olympian.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
And then we had that bit where Nash was also trying to convince Polly that I needed to take him to the merge because of his social skills.
He was really harping on the social skills, wasn't he?
He was like, you'll need my social skills after marriage. And Polly was...
I feel like Paulie's got probably some of the best social skills that we've seen from these tribes so far.
Jesus Christ. I wrote this down. I said, forget AG. Paulie has the best poker face on that whole...
Yeah, I agree.
On that whole island, managing not to laugh at that. Like when he's like, what was it he said? I really like how much you believe in yourself.
Yes, that was it. Oh, I loved that. I mean, I was obviously hoping that Nash would stay, but even the kind of scramble edit didn't make me feel that confident. We obviously had him going off to find the fake idol, which was his wrapping and parchment from his first idol. It was just kind of really hard to believe, I think, because Paulie obviously catches him. Nash says he's found an idol. Paulie asks him to see the idol and he said, no, why would I show you? So, well, that would be a lot easier to believe had you not have done the whole idol reveal on the first episode.
Yeah, because he's like, well, look what happened last time I showed you.
Yeah, I think another example of how the editing's changed this season, because previously we would know at home for sure that he's faking the idol. We'd get a confessional, you know, be like, well, turns out I don't have an idol. But even though we knew just because of how he was acting about it, there was no certainty until we got to actual tribal, he didn't play it. And then we found out for sure, oh, yeah, he definitely didn't have an idol.
Yeah, I feel like it must be because there was not any other kind of clips or strat chats or anything about anyone other than Nash, apart from Nash trying to get the votes on Morgan. So I feel like there wasn't really anything that they could kind of cobble together that added suspense, apart from us maybe thinking like, does he have an idol?
Oh, another thing I did want to note is that Ursula is obviously flipping on Nash. And then she's telling people that Nash threw the first challenge, but she's telling them that while Nash is sat there. So obviously he knows then that she's flipping on him.
Yeah, she didn't really try to disguise it at all, did she? I think she just wanted to make it very clear that she was not associated with him because he was going to drag her down too, potentially.
This is like a real recurring theme of this season. People just saying things out in the open. Like everything. There's no
left, right, and
there's no secrets.
Yeah, nothing is sacred.
No, you find an idol, you tell everyone. We'll get to it, but you get a scroll, you tell everyone.
You get information, you tell everyone.
Yeah, your alliance member throws the first challenge, you tell everyone.
So we get to tribal council then. I think there's not really much that Nash can do at this point. At one point he starts telling them to put all of the votes on him.
I kind of thought that was like, I get that as a tactic to make it look like he has an idol. Yeah. I just absolutely loved when Nash was annoyed that people were still bringing up the fact that he threw the first challenge. And he's like, oh, it was 5 days ago. I thought they'd all be over it by now. It's like, well, I think they only found out this afternoon, to be fair. They've not had 5 days to get over it.
And also, again, know the audience. It's the athlete tribe. They're not going to get over that quickly, I don't feel.
They're not going to like it. But Jono had his back a wee bit. He's like, sometimes throwing a challenge is a strategy.
Yes, but not that soon.
Well, yeah.
I actually quite enjoyed it tribal when Paulie was asked whether or not by Jono he believes that Nash has an idol. And Paulie says something along the lines of, well, just fluff it out and tell us what you're playing with, which I really enjoyed. But of course, Nash doesn't. So we're left with the somewhat mystery of whether or not he has an idol when they all go up to vote. It's only when Jono then asks, does anyone have an idol, that we discover the truth. And my heart broke a little bit. I don't know about you guys.
You like when he was like fishing in his bag for the water?
Yeah.
Do you like when someone does like a fake?
That's a classic move. Classic. I feel like it was Henry that started that one. Yeah, I love the fake out. You've got to do it. And even if you haven't done it, you've definitely done something that looks somewhat like that so that the producers can use it in the edit.
Oh yeah, this is true. You could have genuinely been reaching for your water at another point, and then the producers are like, hey, is that like that?
Yeah. I think they're there for like 2 to 3 hours.
Oh, they are, yeah.
Oh, you would certainly go in your bag during 2 to 3 hours, wouldn't you?
100%. You'd be parched with all that drama and stress.
All that intense questioning from JLP.
Exactly.
I really liked JLP's like final words to them.
Same,
Have you got
I've got those.
Where he says, if you're going to pull the pin on your game, make sure you throw the grenades.
Yes, I loved that.
That was so good, yeah.
That's definitely his best of the season so far, I would say.
He wasn't even saying that in relation to the bomb squad.
No,
he didn't know about that. He was seeing the future there, maybe, talking about throwing grenades.
He'll have to reuse.
Yeah. Just producers splice in the same clip every episode the bomb squad gets mentioned.
We've said goodbye to Nash.
No.
Yeah, it's devastating. Such a big player gone so soon. But what an impact he made.
Absolutely. It's sad to see him go because of the character he was and the drama he brought to the game and the fact he was willing to really just go ahead first and play the game.
Yeah.
But I'm also not surprised, even though I think last time say he was going to make it to merge.
That was crazy.
I'm not that surprised seeing the results.
I'm kind of surprised he went when he did. I thought he might have lasted a couple more weeks.
Well, it's because he told them all he threw the challenge.
Yeah.
Well, I think he would have been gone anyway, but
I don't think there was much he could do, to be honest. But it's not very often that someone who goes out, third, goes down as such an iconic player. So we really take our hats off to him for that, I think. So then moving on to episode 2, Nash is gone and we start with this beautiful island scene.
Oh, yeah.
It's a peaceful morning. Someone says the reign of chaos has ended. They're all
sun is shining,
slowly awaking from their slumber, the best night's sleep they've had on the island so far.
No more rash.
No more rash, no more Nash. Very sad.
Although we do get this little scene with Noonan and Ursula.
I was just about to talk about this. So I really love when it switches up and you get that kind of jaunty strat chat music. You know, the one that's like da 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 da. Da, 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 da. So I can't quite get it out, but it's all like, something's afoot.
Well, can you edit a wee clip of that in?
I was thinking I might do, yeah. I just don't know about copyright.
God's sake.
Well, I'll just do it again really good then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Perfect.
Well, that's not even close, but...
It's like watching an episode.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yeah.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
I absolutely love when you get that tune because you just know
It's going to be
some
a bit
good
of stratty chatty.
Yeah.
Chat.
I really loved as well when we get this confessional from Ursula. While she's having this conversation with Noonan, it cuts to the confessional with Ursula and she says, Noonan is just as shifty as I am. And I just think that's such a fun way to look at it. Like they're both kind of sussing each other out in that chat. They both know they're shifty and they're both kind of okay with it. I just feel like there might be some good stuff to see from Ursula.
I liked how Noonan was like, I mean, I don't see myself voting for you again. Like not really promising anything, but I don't think I will. And then she's like, oh, I mean, if you want to say it back, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Ursula's just like, Anyway, I guess we'll see what happens when we get to that. Huh?
Yeah, it was really like, are we going to form an alliance? No, probably not. And
Maybe
we're both not even going to fake it at
a few
this point.
days.
Maybe.
I can see them being a good alliance together.
Yeah, I think now that Ursula's not kind of attached to Nash, she's got a bit more agency, I think. So it'll be interesting to see what she does with that.
On the Brains tribe, the future's looking bleak.
It's looking really bleak. So
no fire, no food, and I've written shelter bad. You've got Ali saying that if anyone touches the rations, she will be using the machete.
It's never good to police the rations.
You don't want to be you don't want to be that rations police.
You don't want to be the one that eats too many rations, but you don't want to be the one policing it either. So you kind of just have to.
Yeah, I also don't think you want that kind of chef role unless you're very good at it.
You want to be the person that comes up with your bowl saying, "Please, sir, can I have some more?"
No, you don't say you want more. You come up and say, "Please, sir, can I have my allocated? Can I have my allocated portion?" And then I will skedaddle off to do some work around the camp.
And then I'll do the washing up.
Yeah, and then I'll do the washing up and I won't complain.
I'm getting voted out so quickly.
Yeah, you would.
It's when people go very militant about it, that's when they're losing track of what the game is.
Especially when it's against the guys, because the guys tend to eat more traditionally. So for her to kind of be saying that sort of stuff around the guy, you can just tell. She's getting on their wick. You can see her setting herself up for a fall.
So I wanted to ask you, what did you think of her pep talk that she gave AJ when he was sitting in the tree?
I've wanted to talk about this. I loved it so much. I love whenever you're watching a conversation on Survivor and you know the truth, but there's one person who is very adamant that they know the truth, but it's not the truth. And I just love watching those conversations unfold. I loved how AJ basically got her exactly where he wanted her, in the palm of her hand. He knew he was going to do the sad bit, sitting in the tree. I'm at the bottom of the alliance. Oh, I'm at the bottom of the tribe, not even in an alliance. And it worked perfectly.
The bit that was just absolutely killing me was when she was like, you can't just sit in a tree. That's not how I want to remember you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it Ali as well that's kind of bothering them about the fire when they're trying to do it? And she's like, Rich, don't throw anything on top. And then Max is fed up of her. Is that Ali? And then Max is doing like that cutthroat gesture to the camera because he's fed up of her and wants her out. And he's saying, sweet, sweet deceit.
I wrote down sweet, sweet deceit.
I think that was Ali, right?
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, so we've had her like rationing the foods. We've then had her giving AG that lecture / pep talk. And then we've had when she's saying about the fire and she's kind of just pissing everyone off, really.
She is. I think Karen sums it up quite nicely in a later episode where she says the thinking's very black and white. She's really just telling everyone exactly the truth as she knows it. And there's not any kind of thought about the gameplay, in my opinion.
Where's the deceiving?
Where is the deceit? The deceiving's not there.
Yeah, because even if she thinks she knows AG is going out, why is she telling him that?
I don't know. Because they're not aligned.
Oh, they're absolutely not aligned.
So it's one thing to tell your alliance member, I've heard your name, I think you're getting voted out. And it's another thing to tell your enemy. Because if anything, that's just going to spur them on more to go for you.
And how was that the pep talk anyway, telling him that he was... anyway.
I think her thoughts on it was, I'm being truthful.
An honest game. An honourable game.
We all know how much we love an honourable game.
I hate when someone plays an honourable game. Get out of here. Get out of here.
We want the sweet, sweet deceit.
We want the sweet, sweet deceit.
So yeah, we're straight into kind of the mud challenge. Immediately, the Brains tribe know they're in trouble because Brawn have all got t-shirts on.
Yeah, they've all got like layers and stuff. I made a note. It would be really good if Max had been wearing a hat. Could have filled that with mud.
Yeah, a little scoop, little shovel.
How much did you love that mud balls element?
Yeah,
I was obsessed. The fact that they had to like craft them just right so they wouldn't fall apart.
That's a new thing that we've not seen that before.
No, I loved it.
I also made a note that I feel like, because you know how Brains were quite far behind in the challenge?
Yeah.
And they had to fill up the container with mud.
Yes.
I feel like Jono let them go early.
No.
Yeah, I do, because they were taking ages. And I feel like there was still a little bit to go. And he was just kind of like, yeah, you're good, Brains, go.
Do you think? Did you see it?
I almost saw him getting the message in his ear.
What?
And then reacting, looking back and going, running back a little bit and going, yeah, you're good, just go. Because I think they didn't want it to be too much of a washout because it takes away from the drama.
These are serious allegations. Jono's integrity is on the line and you're thinking he helped cheat.
He
threw the challenge. Jono threw the challenge.
It didn't change the outcome of the challenge.
Yeah. No. And it might have been a dodgy edit that just showed a previous shot of the trough, not quite full. But I was suspicious. Yeah. I was here for it because I love a showdown. Mm-hmm. So does Jono.
He does, yeah.
Now we've got a showdown. So we see then the Brawn tribe win the challenge. We get this fantastic moment where Jono decides to stir the pot. So we've got
I knew it was coming.
Yeah,
he was trolling.
You know it, especially when you've got all those shots of Logan crying.
All the leading questions before the challenge.
Yeah.
It was brewing. So we asked them, you can take someone else. You think, surely it's going to be Logan. She's in tears. She wants to go to the salon so bad.
One of them even says, oh, should we take the chick that's crying?
Yeah. But then I think it's Morgan that jumps in and says no, because she didn't let us have the sausage sizzle.
Sausage sizzles coming back though.
What a decision. I was here for it personally because I just love a shock A shock choice.
I loved it. And I loved as well Jono further stirring the pot when he tells her she can give it up.
I actually didn't like that. I was like, that's half the point of winning the reward is you get to pick how you're going to mess with the other tribe.
Oh, no, but he knew she would not do that.
Well,
surely.
It did make it better in the end that she didn't.
You'd be like, Jono, you're doing me dirty here. Just tell me I can't swap it.
Yeah.
Would you have swapped?
No.
I don't think anyone would swap in that scenario.
Unless you really wanted to be back with your tribe for strategy.
If it's like later on.
I would swap.
Would you?
I feel like going away with the other tribe is suicide. If you're in a really good position in your tribe, it's a terrible thing to do. If you're in a really bad position in your tribe, it's a really terrible thing to do because you're just away from everything. Anything can happen while you're away and you come back. Everyone instantly thinks you're a traitor and you've told them everything.
It's the equivalent of like going for a snooze in the jungle and you wake up and the plans change.
Yeah, unthinkable.
But I just feel like you would really get the other tribe so riled up if you rejected their invitation.
I mean, I think I would understand.
Interesting choice. I would have said no swap. I'm going to the salon. I'm going to have me a champagne.
I'll just go and wash off in the sea with the rest of my tribe mates and build those alliances.
Use some sand to exfoliate.
Oh God, that sand.
So anyway, Ali doesn't want to turn it down. She goes to the other tribe and she's very chill while she's there, gives away nothing.
She keeps very tight-lipped. I couldn't quite believe what I was watching. Could you?
No, here's some of the stuff she told them. Miles is just a number. Kaylin's just here for the coconuts. Don't trust AJ and Rich. There's a divide between the boys and the girls girls have a really tight alliance who are really loyal.
What?
I feel like she's never watched a single episode of Survivor.
It's bizarre, isn't it? I just, like, I think as Karen says later on, that's Survivor 101.
Yeah.
You do not give away the tribe's secrets.
No.
Tribe.
And then we get this like great like editing cut like to the brains where they're talking about it and saying, oh, Ali's really smart. She'll give nothing away.
Ali won't tell them anything.
Won't tell them anything.
It was classic. I think Paulie sort of spoke for us all again where he just said, I'm dead.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I could not believe what was happening.
No.
Do you think it was the champagne? Do you think she was just trying to... What do you think was the gameplay there? Was there a gameplay?
I don't think there was gameplay.
Inexplicable.
Inexplicable
We're going to have a wee chat at the end of all this about like ranking the moves in order of most to least inexplicable because there's been so many strange decisions and choices.
This is up there.
This is
really up there.
To what end? Why was she telling them that? Why did she say she was telling them that? Did she have an explanation? Do we see her?
Because when she goes back to the coven and then tells them that she's told them that they're in an alliance.
Yeah.
I guess in her mind, she's thinking, this is a really good move because I've shown the other tribe that we're reliable and loyal. But
no,
she's just not read that because you must think that you're doing the right thing to tell your alliance that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, she cannot come away from it thinking, oh, maybe she shouldn't have told them all that. She still thought it was a good thing.
She's like, I made a good move there, yeah. It's like,
what?
No way.
It's flabbergasting. I also liked how she said Kaylin's not here to play the game, but we know from confessionals that is his game. He's acting like
pretending to be the coconut bartender. That is his game.
And we definitely
she doesn't know. She doesn't know about people's secret games. You've got AJ sitting in the tree, and that's his strategy. And then you've got Kaylin giving out the coconuts, and that's his strategy.
The wool has been pulled well and truly over her eyes by them.
Also, while we're back on the Brains beach, we have AJ finding an idol.
Oh, yeah.
I was so pleased for him.
I was really pleased for him too. He needed that little boost, I think.
You do wonder how long are they looking for these? Like the editing makes it look like they're like, off to the jungle.
Idol shop.
Off to the idol shop to pick up one and could do with that.
You know what else I wonder as well? You know how like they always edit it to show like one person's looking for an idol and then you've got like their opposite alliance also in the nearby vicinity?
Yes.
Because do you notice how like whenever they find an idol, it always feels really frantic and they're frantically unwrapping it. It's like, why are you doing that now? Why can't you wait to your confessional? They must be told they have to.
Well,
I think that there's a lot of creative editing there where, you know, when they're looking for the idol, they're cutting to shots of other people in the jungle to make you think that they're approaching them. But really, there's no one else around and they're frantically unwrapping it because they're so fucking excited. They've just found an idol.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'm watching it thinking, you've got whoever it was just around the corner. Why are you risking an unwrap now? But
you'd be giddy. You need to just check it as an idol.
Yeah.
I guess you would.
It might be a fake one. A clue. maybe an idol clue.
Oh, God, not another cookie idol.
A cookie idol clue.
I was really pleased for AJ. I feel like I really slated him last pot. Well, not slated him, but I really thought that's it. It's hard to see how he's going to come back from what he did. Yeah, that torched game, but he's done it. He's got an idol in his pocket. We love to see it.
We do.
What did you think of the immunity challenge? Because I thought it was wonderful.
Oh, you know what I was going to say? You know when they show like the challenge to start with? You know what I thought it was?
Coconut hold.
Yes.
Hold. I was like, I wrote in my notebook in big capitals, coconut hold. I was so excited.
Why are they always teasing us that it's going to be cocoa holds?
I had to write a big no and an unhappy face next to it when I realised that it wasn't. But
we did get Jono saying, release the nutsack.
Yes, we did.
I knew it was nuts.
We knew. That doesn't mean that the coconut hold challenge was called nutsack.
No, it's not. I can't remember. I looked it up and I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't nuts.
We'll come back to this on next podcast episode.
Probably cut this out.
I also thought that it was a trampoline. You know that big net that they had, like that big. I was like, oh, it's a trampoline involved.
It would have been fun. There wasn't a trampoline involved.
It was.
I feel like though that's the last thing they need adding to these bloody challenges. They're so dangerous, and so many people get injured anyway. The last thing they need is to be throwing this like trampoline in there.
Yeah, you need to trampoline yourself up to this like 2 foot by 2
Do a
foot
backflip.
square. Yeah, I did love that challenge. I thought it was amazing. It had loads of different elements. I love those big, like, classic Survivor challenges, you know, with lots of different obstacles in.
Yeah, and I really loved that fire element at the end.
Yeah,
and I just really loved how it all ties in. Like they were using the like they were putting the coconuts down the ramp, and then I loved it.
They also had Cube Crisis.
Yes,
which is a classic Survivor puzzle.
An 8-piece version.
Yeah, it looked quite hard because nothing on the outside. It was all the same, wasn't it?
Although Miles had it done in like seconds.
He's been practicing that, I bet.
It was wonderful.
It was really great. I love it in Survivor when you think one tribe is, you know, steamrolling ahead and then the other tribe catches up and Jono says something along the lines, he varies it, but something along the lines of, oh, well, Brain's had a nice lead in this challenge, but it has evaporated.
Yeah.
Or they've squandered it.
Squandered it. That's my favourite when it's squandered.
So we've got Ali and we've got Laura trying to make a fire.
Yeah.
And it's just painful viewing, isn't it? I feel so bad. You know, when you're like doing something and then the pressure starts getting to you and you know you're under pressure and it just makes you less and less able to perform. Oh.
I almost feel like she should have binned the flint and just gone to the stick method. It worked so well on the beach.
She
was there with that flint, just like gently stroking it with the knife. Like, give it some oomph.
I mean, we probably didn't see all of them. They must have been there for ages trying to get that spark to catch.
Yeah.
That was going to be the reveal in another 2 episodes. She threw the challenge.
Yeah.
We'll not be getting that reveal now.
What do you think is worse, to put yourself up for the fire and not be able to make it, or to put yourself up for the puzzle and not be able to complete the puzzle? Both of the...
I think the fire one was worse because we don't see it very often and it looked like the other tribe had no bother. Whereas with the puzzle, you see people fail at the puzzle quite a lot.
Yeah.
We know the puzzle's the great equalizer.
We know that. We don't know that the fire is the great equalizer.
Not necessarily,
No.
I guess you get a lot of different variations of the puzzle. So you can be like, oh, that's really hard one this time.
Whereas the fire's the fire, really. Rich is excited for Tribal, which made me think, well, what does he think the plan is for Tribal? Like, he's excited for it. I guess the bomb squad.
The bomb squad. Is this when they were talking to the coconuts and making their plan with the coconuts?
I'm not sure. I know that at one point Max is saying it's going to be the greatest operation on the face of the earth.
I feel like they were planning to get Ali out this tribal.
Rich tells the coconut he's going to blindside Ali.
And then Miles comes in for a chat with the coconut as well, we see. There's definitely trouble in the coven as well. We can feel that brewing. There's a lot of tension all across.
Yeah, there's kind of a split. So you've got Logan and Laura really want to take out AJ.
Yep.
And then you've got Zara and Karen really want to take out
Rich.
And then I'm not sure where Ali sits.
She kind of is sitting with Rich because she's
Taking
still
him out.
coven strong at this point. And she's thinking, okay, yeah, it's been 3 votes. They've wanted to take out Rich for him. We haven't. So she's happy to do Rich. The other 2 are saying they are saying that they will take out Rich, but they are very clearly unhappy about it. But I think Ali, again, is just quite oblivious to what's going on because she's going back to Logan and Karen and saying, yeah, Laura's not happy about it, but she will 100% vote Rich.
And then, I was quite surprised when we actually saw Rich and Laura talking about just quite how good friends they were. They seemed like really good pals.
Yeah, and like Laura said, she's worked very hard on that relationship.
Yeah.
And it seems to be that she wants to take him quite far because of the shield thing. It does not seem like a good move for Laura's game to take out Rich at this point, but she seems to be steamrolled in the coven by Zara and Karen.
And then is Ali talking to AJ at one point and she says to him, stop saying it's cool that you're going out.
Yeah, she says that. And you know what else she says to him? The end is nigh.
But he wasn't. They weren't. She didn't think he was going out that episode.
No, but I think she just was like, you are going home, but it's just a matter of when, not if.
That was it.
Yeah, so they had that wee conversation. And then afterwards, you've got Rich going over to AJ like, oh, what was your lecture today?
Yeah. Surely you've got a PhD in something by now.
Yeah. I love that.
There's pure drama basically in the lead up to this tribal. There's a lot of scrambling. We don't quite know what Laura's going to do at this point because it's clear she really wants to keep Rich in. Laura's now thinking, okay, can I flip and vote out Ali and go against the coven? Basically, you've got those 2 kind of factions in the coven that are both thinking they want to break the coven.
Yes. And then you've got Ali's reveal to the coven about everything she said to the other tribe. And Laura's thinking she could maybe use that as an excuse to vote out.
Exactly. You know what? This is just one of those cases where an alliance was formed too quickly and they didn't properly get a chance to understand how each other actually wanted to play the game because they all seem to be quite different players, don't they? And
they do, yeah. So the scramble was just all over the place, really. You've got different people talking about teaming up with, Zara's discussing teaming up with Miles to get Rich out. It's just all over the place. So I was very interested when they went to tribal. I was very interested to actually see how it all played out, but we did not get to really see that, did we?
Alas, we did not. I was very disappointed.
So AJ instantly, the words are barely out of Jono's mouth and AJ is volunteering as tribute to go. Why do you think he was so keen? Do you think it's just because he knew he was in a bit of a bad situation, or
because
he had 2 alliances by this point, didn't he?
That's what I was thinking.
Well, I kind of felt because he was like, Ali was constantly telling him, you're going home, you're going home.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he got in his head a little bit. And also then the fact that Miles is talking about potentially not voting with him and voting in with the other, with the girls.
And he's got an idol.
Yeah, and he's got an idol. So he's like, maybe I can set myself up pretty nicely on the other tribe here. This is my chance.
And did they didn't know they were going to get a scroll at that point, did they?
Well, I think they knew they'd get a scroll, they just didn't know what it was.
Oh, they did know.
Because he said, I bet that's an idol clue.
Oh,
yeah.
So Jono was waving the scroll around as well.
Yeah, so AJ's instantly volunteered as tribute. The girls say, no, we can't send AJ.
Why?
Ali volunteers, I feel, at one point.
She does.
And then Rich volunteers. I guess she already had that bit of schmoozing with Brawn.
Oh, that was it, yeah. So she'd already really bonded by telling them the ins and outs of the Brains tribe.
But I feel like if you think you're in an alliance, even if unless you're at the bottom of the bottom, it's really a really risky move to volunteer to go to the other tribe, because you know that other tribe most likely, I mean, they can get turned around, but you're pretty much going over there and the other tribe is going to be saying, well, if we lose, you're going to be the first out, because that's the way that it always goes. So it's a big, big risk putting yourself up there. You don't want to do it unless you're in real danger.
Or they assume you're a mole. And
well,
which just then you can't even make relationships to not get voted out.
It's just happened so many times that someone comes over and then they go back. I think the last 2 seasons that happened. So really can't blame people for being suspicious about that.
Definitely not. But we then see Rich volunteer and Laura thinks, goody, this is perfect for her game. So she latches onto that straight away. And I thought this was really, really smart play from Laura. I was here for this move.
I thought it was very clever, He's safe out the way. Yep, so Rich is going to the Brawn tribe and Jono is saying, will he fight the enemy or will he become the enemy? Another very good.
Very good.
Zinger.
He's he's such a wise owl, isn't he?
He really is.
We find out then the scroll, the secret power about you can pick 2 people to leave tribal council.
That is a good advantage.
We have had this one before, right?
Yes.
George, was it? Yeah.
Well, he got to, it wasn't just 2 people. Did he get to pick
He got like half the tribe.
Yeah.
And he picked out everyone who was weak.
Yeah.
And told him that's why he picked.
Yeah.
It could have really played out, I guess, so many different ways, couldn't it? Like, because you can pick yourself, keep yourself safe, use it to bond with another person on that tribe, keep them safe, you know.
Yeah, and I really liked how it gave the option that was like, you have to use it at the next one. So if you don't lose, you can give it to the other. That just adds a whole nother element to it, as we saw play out.
Didn't it just?
So, yeah, we get that nice little shot of him as well, reading the scroll by torchlight.
By torchlight, yeah.
Lovely.
No wonder that he was struggling to read it. The dimness of the light.
Dirty with that.
Yeah.
Hey, give him a torch or a headlight or something, like trying to read it from the embers of this dying.
The pressure as well of knowing you're going into the Brawn's tribe and you're trying to perform this script on camera.
Okay, so episode 6, we start on the Brawn beach and Rich is just loving life. He's really enjoying it. Just has all these clips of him like lying in their top tier shelter, which is much better than the Brain's tribe shelter.
Can we just talk about how blissfully unaware of how at risk he is?
Oh, he thinks he's doing great.
He does. He doesn't seem to have kind of clicked that it's actually quite a risky position that he's put himself in. He's just like, new people, nicer shelter.
Holiday.
They were loving the watering hole over there as well. For some reason.
It was like some worship. Like, you know, they bring him all of them come to the watering hole with him, and then here you go, sir, have the ladle.
Yeah,
and
like a ritual.
Okay.
Well, do you know, though, I mean, you've got nothing else to do. I guess you might as well make. I mean, they were talking to coconuts over in the Brains.
Yeah, really scraping the barrel.
And then he comes in carrying the banner.
He did.
I loved that.
Same.
Fully fledged member of the Brawn tribe.
He may as well have been giving the Brains tribe the fingers.
Yeah.
Union's not delighted about him being there.
She's not. It's another person for her to get rid of, which I can kind of see. But if she looked at it another way, it's a free number up for grabs, which she could take. I feel like we've not really seen that much of the kind of alliance structure on the Brawn tribe.
We really haven't, because you had like the first episode with Nash and the idol and everything. And then the next time Nash just went out. But I'm not really sure. I think Noonan and Polly are close, but not close enough for him to tell her that he's got an ISO.
Yeah.
And then I'm not really sure.
It's really
Are
hard to...
PD and Ursula and Kristen still in an alliance, or was Nash the glue that held them together?
No, I would say they would have bonded more after Nash has left, maybe.
They all turned on him.
But yeah, there's a couple of people even on the Brawn's tribe that I don't feel like we've seen much of at all. Like there's that Ben character over there. We've hardly heard a word from him. Who do you think who he is?
I keep thinking he's Jesse, but he's not. They're two different.
Yeah, there's Ben and Jesse.
Yeah.
Both of them
And
we haven't seen much from.
And are they in an alliance with each other?
Christ knows. maybe.
But on the other side of things, we've seen a hell of a lot of the Brawn tribe, and I still can't get a read on what the hell the alliance is over there. So yeah, we do see like just a snippet of the coven is starting to fall apart, even without Rich there.
It was only a matter of time. I think they all knew it.
It's blowing up. So we go to this challenge rewards where. Do you want to tell us what the prize was, Coop?
Well, I was excited. It looked big. It looked like it was going to be a barbecue. But no, it's a big sponsorship deal. It's an IKEA comfort package.
An IKEA comfort package, you say?
I mean, they really repeated IKEA quite a few times, right? So
I 100% think, in the confessionals, when they're saying, I'm really glad we won the IKEA comfort package.
Yeah.
You think the producers are like, can you record that again and just make sure you mention IKEA?
yeah.
Or they're all sat there going, if I mention IKEA, my confessional's going to make it into the edit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it.
Tactic. Yeah. I mean, it looked very plush. It looked lovely.
So, yeah, we discussed you've got Rich carrying the banner, and then he said he's loving it over there because it's just filled with coordination and culture.
Such a...
I love the culture dig, yeah.
Yeah, but then you've got Ali getting a wee dig back saying, oh, well, it was a unanimous vote that we all voted him out. And then Rich is like, I volunteered.
And then Paulie shoots right back again. It's some tribe's trash is another tribe's treasure.
Yes, I love that.
I love that.
I feel like Paulie's a very positive person.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's just so nice.
A real threat in this game, I would say. I think he's got potential to go
I think
far.
he's a very dangerous player.
I think he's getting a winner's edit.
Yeah. Oh, he is.
He is.
I think he's defo going to make it to
I
merge as well, guys.
Oh, getting in there.
We've not dropped the... Another great line we get from Rich in that montage is him saying, brains ain't got nothing on us, especially with me added to the cavalry. I
just love Rich so much.
Yeah.
Like, he's such a fun character.
Such a great character.
I really liked in the challenge then when Miles was saying to Paulie, your dead sister. Paulie's like,
yeah.
please.
Yeah. So we've got one of these kind of iconic Survivor challenges, a face-off. There's always some kind of tackling, some kind of big pads or device they need to use to get the other person off the platform. We see, a couple of people get pushed into the water.
Very quickly.
And then we see this epic battle between
showdown.
Karen and Ursula.
And it kind of looked like, they were going to be there forever.
Yeah.
For the rest of their life. But John was not having that, was he?
No. I mean, have we ever seen this before where he's called a draw?
I can't remember it.
I can't recall, but 20 minutes is too long for our Jono to be stood there watching. In some elements, it didn't really look like much was going on.
It just kind of looked like they were cuddling for a while.
I swear to God, next time there's going to be a timer on these challenges next season because he was not all about having to stand there for 20 minutes watching them just lying on the...
Yeah, he seemed very deflated at the end.
Yeah,
he was
it's a
just
long
like
time to
hoping for some
stand up
drama
and watch.
Yeah, nothing.
And then everyone's thinking, right, well, 20 minutes for nothing because there's no score from that.
I thought at least something. I guess it doesn't make a difference, does it? It's like you can either give them one each and it's still basically, you might as well just give them nothing. So yeah.
The whole thing was pointless.
They were probably deciding whether to edit it out or not.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Give them 0 and then we can edit it out.
Yeah.
I bet they just needed to keep it in because we get that scene of Karen whispering to Ursula that Rich is not to be trusted.
Oh,
he's
yes.
volatile. Whether or not she takes any of that on remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But I think it's always suspicious when you get that kind of messaging from another tribe.
Oh,
member.
yeah, because they're either trying to just take advantage and throw someone else under the bus, but also I thought it was very much like, well, that tribe could have been suspicious that he was a mole before, but the second that the tribe he's just come from start basically throwing him under the bus, essentially tells them, oh, he's not a mole then.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't be doing that otherwise.
Oh, yeah, good point.
They'd be like, trust him, tell him everything.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird as well how
tell him everything, like Ali told you everything.
It's weird that when they asked Rich, oh, do you think you'll be going back? And he was like, nah, I don't think so. Why didn't he just say no? It was made very clear that he will not be returning to...
Like Jono actively said, I will not be returning. Nah, I don't think so. He had a lot going on. He had the scroll with the rules to remember. And
we did see that next week we get Tribe Swap.
Oh, yeah, true.
So they could be reunited sooner than we think.
Oh, yeah, he was actually only a Brawn.
Do you know, it's probably about time because we just keep getting Brawn wins, don't we?
True. They're ready to shake it up a little bit. Yeah. And we need to see more of, like we just said, on that Brawn tribe. We have no idea what's going on in there alliance-wise. It's got to be shaken up a little.
So, Brawn win.
Yeah.
They win the IKEA reward. But what do they not win? The table. It's not included. John is very adamant.
Leave the table.
You're not getting the table.
This just shows how desperate the tribes are at this point for a basic table.
Chop it up and use it for firewood. What do you think they would have done with it? Do you think it would have been firewood? Do you think they would have tried to craft some kind of like ping pong?
Oh, yeah.
You know, if Kelly was there, it would have been something fun. Like
that's true. She would have. I actually think they would have just used it for a seat. You know, it gets very uncomfortable. We've seen them say this, just sitting on logs.
They've got trees to sit in.
Yeah, I guess.
It's just a taller log. It's like a bar stool version of a log.
Maybe Kaelin would have used... Oh no, Kaelin's not even on that.
You could have used it. You were thinking you could have used it for his coconut bar.
Yeah. I guess there was a lot they could have done with it. Could have made it a bed.
It could have
all those
been
cushions.
Used, to stand on to look in the trees for idols.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're not having it.
Oh, yeah. No. Jono was very adamant.
Not the table.
That's his dinner table.
Need that for the next challenge.
He's taken that from the hotel.
I love how he makes the rules as well. Like some other presenters might have been like, oh, yeah, like, I don't know.
Or at least waiting for the air. But he was straight on it.
No.
He was like, no, you're not having the table.
You're not having the table.
They may as well try and take the IKEA sign with them as well.
What would they have done with that?
That probably would have been allowed. Yeah. I can't go on the tribe banner.
No, IKEA didn't pay enough for that.
The Brawn tribe sponsored by IKEA. Or the Brawns are the ones with the nicer, like...
Yeah.
You know what we get next? That wonderful, wonderful time with Max and Miles.
Oh, yes.
Right. So
go on.
Back to the brain speech. We've got a few people talking about how Max loves chaos for the sake of chaos, which is quite good foreshadowing for the rest of the episode. You've got Miles and Kaelin at the well talking about how they want to get Max out. Little do they know, Ali can hear them. The
Ali's
ultimate
creeping around in the jungle.
The ultimate creeping. Unintentional creeping.
Accidental creeping. Very fortunate creeping. I just love these moments when you're watching on Survivor and you can see all of these kind of pieces coming together and you just think, this is barreling towards a big misunderstanding or a big mess up or a big blotting of information.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we got.
Absolutely. So then Ali goes straight to Max and tells him. And at this point, I was just like, what are the dynamics in this tribe? I am so confused. Because he was talking the last episode, he was doing that cutthroat to the camera saying he wanted Ali out. But now she's saying she's his friend and she's going to tell him. I feel like I need one of those, those like murder boards.
Yeah.
And you've got like the threads leading to everyone. I feel like that's what we need. But you'd need a colour for like, thinks they're in an alliance, but the other person hates them.
Yeah.
Because I can't get my head around these dynamics in this tribe. It's wild.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start with it.
So she tells him, like, you're the next vote. And it's again that thing I love. He's like, what? Yeah. I'm the next vote. Why?
So I noticed in this part that it all kind of gets pinned on Miles. I know Miles was the one that kind of brought it to Kaelin, but Kaelin was agreeing with the plan. And then we just get Max hollering across the beach at Miles, calling him like a jungle rat to Miles's face, basically.
And again, it just brings me back to everything is just so open in this series. You've like everyone's just revealing everything, like shouting across the jungle that they want them out and it's a war.
I know, because 1 minute they're in the bomb squad alliance together. And then the next thing, he's shouting he's a jungle rat. Miles is trying to get him out. There's all sorts going on.
Yeah.
Let's just clarify as well that this happens before the immunity challenge.
Oh yes, this is before the immunity.
So we don't even, I mean, more chaos is to come. So let's just move on to the immunity challenge, which is a big kind of cargo net, like a vertical cargo net that they kind of have to slide up, grab puzzle pieces, come back down, load up the puzzle pieces, and then puzzle makers can make. And it's a word puzzle.
Well, there's a lot of words.
There's a lot of words and a very difficult word puzzle. It was your tribe will remain intact. Now, we were just saying on the episode before that you would learn about 15 words that are likely to come up in a word puzzle. Things like immunity, brains, brawn.
Yeah, and one more day in the game was the exception.
Yeah.
That one time.
Yeah, well, this one, you could not have seen that coming.
You couldn't have
Your
seen
tribe will remain intact. Very strange phrase.
It's so long as well. Anyway.
It was intact. Is that two separate words?
Yeah. Would you have even known?
I don't know.
I don't know if I've ever used the word tact in real life.
Intact. What was it that they thought? Your tribe is immune or something, which would make more sense.
Yeah.
Made more sense than what it was.
Really difficult.
Intact.
It's like they've had that complaint before where the puzzle's too easy because it's always the same thing.
Yeah.
And then gone, well, we'll show you.
Yeah.
Just try and work out this.
And the props department took that as a challenge.
Yeah.
Oh God. Did you also like how they had to like climb up a ladder?
Yeah. I really enjoy it. It was like Countdown on steroids, like all the letters and things. I loved it. Yeah.
I've got a 25, Rachel.
Yeah.
And talking of things being elevated, I just thought Jono was very jolly.
Very dynamic. And I was going to mention as well, I love when a challenge is being explained and Jono says, on my go, you will, blah, 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 and then goes on to say what you need to do in the challenge. That's such a fun one for me. But yeah, he was pointing, he was dynamic, he was cheering the tribes on. Well, not cheering them on, but
he was really like waxing lyrical about Jesse's performance, wasn't he? How fast he was. Well, fair play.
He basically shot up that cargo net. He actually did look like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch these challenges and just think, I dread to think how I would perform in that challenge?
All the time.
I literally don't know how they're getting up that cargo net backwards. It's very impressive. So anyway, they collect all these puzzle pieces. They then need to, like you said, lift them all up onto this gigantic frame, which looks very difficult to do in itself, and then work out that horrendous word challenge. So I find it really interesting when you have these kinds of challenges where the other tribe can see what each other's doing.
Yeah, because they start copying each other, don't they?
Yeah, but sometimes it's not the right thing to do. So it can also lead you down the wrong garden path or up the wrong garden path, whatever the phrase is. So we kind of see that play out here where you've got the Brains tribe initially is trying to copy the Brawn's tribe, but the Brawn haven't got it right yet. And then they both seem to kind of get what the puzzle is around the same time. We've got a frantic...
Noonan gets it first.
Yeah.
Works out what it is. Brains start copying her. And then they're really like neck and neck. And then
it was close.
Brawn wins again.
I'd say it looked like it was just one letter different.
Oh yeah, it looked really close, didn't it? Like I thought we were maybe going to get a photo finish. Another draw. Yeah. Oh my God. 2 draws in one episode.
That would have been good.
Oh my God. Imagine, right? Another draw and John was like, oh well, we'll just toss a coin. Where's Baza's coin from season 1? We'll just toss that, see who goes.
So we've also got kind of alongside this challenge, we've got Rich hollering out to the bomb squad that he has an alliance. He's got this scroll.
He's on the bench, but he is very much involved.
Yeah. So we know pretty much, everyone knows that Rich is going to give this scroll to a member of the Brains tribe. He gives it to Max.
Then he walks off with the Bronze tribe and he's chanting as he goes past them, bomb squad, bomb squad, bomb squad.
So there's absolutely no
subtlety
question about,
as always. Just following the tone of the season. Very secret, very demure.
So we then get back to the Brains beach and we've got then just this
what?
Another inexplicable moment where Max
it's story time.
Yeah.
On the Brains tribe. They're all gathered round the fire
to wait and see what Max reads off his scroll.
What?
Why would you not do like a Nick and just hide, read it, and then come up with some fake poem or something?
Or just say, I'm not telling you.
Or to say that. Yeah, you're perfectly within your rights to say that as well. But yeah, he decides he's going.
I guess if he kept it to himself, it puts more of a target on him. You know, the rest of the tribe can then maybe unite and go, well, you know what? He's got this thing. Let's vote for him and see what happens.
True, but I don't think he was thinking that.
No, he wasn't.
Judging by what he did later on in the tribe.
I don't think he was thinking anything. I think he was just like, I've been busted. I'm going to read it out and then I'll figure something out later.
Yeah, so he reads it out and then he says something along the lines of like, obviously, I've got my own problems on this tribe. I've got my own problems on this island. And then does he basically just tell them all he's going to send himself and AJ, was it?
Yeah, AJ.
Back to the camp and the rest of them can just fight it out.
Miles.
Yeah, good
vote
luck.
for Miles, ideally, but fight it out between them.
So we then, this was inexplicable, but we then see him go to...
I don't know. We had the wee graduates alliance forum shortly after that. Yeah. So that was Karen, Miles,
Zara,
and AJ.
But then they also tried to pull in Kaylin.
Yes.
So we see that. But
so they're the graduates, and tonight is going to be their graduation.
I really like that analogy.
Yeah.
But yeah, we also then see Kaylin, I believe, being told by Max that wasn't his actual plan.
Oh my God, right, yes. So the graduates, they have their wee chat and they really want to vote out Ali, then cut to Max with his master plan and he wants to vote out Ali.
Yeah.
So basically they all wanted to vote out
So
Ali.
it seems like they're all on the same page.
Yes.
However, many more scrambles happen.
There's lots of chat about Zara instead. I think Laura and Logan, who are working with Max, want Zara out instead of Ali, which Max says he's on board with.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we'll just vote out Zara instead then. And they're like, great.
Yeah, but then Zara, almost like a prophecy, says, well, who knows what that loose cannon Max is going to do tonight.
Loose cannon is just the perfect way to sum him up.
It's almost an understatement.
Yeah, it is.
That was just another one of those scrambles where I just didn't, even if he'd stuck to the plan, I still didn't really know what was happening and who was voting what.
Definitely. And things get even more chaotic.
Well, yeah, because he changes. Well, anyway, so they go to tribal.
I also want to take a brief moment to discuss his tribal look because he was wearing that brightly coloured kind of poncho that just says, I'm going to make a big move today. Because we've not seen him wear that yet, I don't think. That's his big move.
That's his
poncho.
move poncho.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Think so.
If I was just about to ask, did the poncho actually say, I'm going to make a move?
No, but that would be such a good item of clothing to wear. This is my big move t-shirt.
It's this time difference. We're recording this too late at night, UK time. I honestly thought he was looking.
No, I just feel like it screamed that energy.
Yeah, big move poncho.
Do you think the producers tell a certain person to lead the walk into tribal?
Oh.
I think they orchestrate it very much.
And
Yeah.
And do you think when you carry the banner, do you think you get to pick that, or do you think the producers choose who's carrying that banner?
What, into the challenge?
Well, just into anything. You don't? Do they bring it? They don't bring it to tribal because they've got the torch.
Yeah.
I think the tribe gets to pick
Who carries?
because of the fact that they commented on Rich carrying it. If it was a production choice, they know it's a production choice and they wouldn't even raise it.
Good point.
I would just love to carry the banner.
Yeah, same. We get this great shot of Max leading the tribe into tribal. There's some kind of voiceover about how he's got power tonight. And you really feel that in the build-up, I think.
They're going in torches blazing and Max is all guns blazing.
So nobody knows what he's going to do.
No.
Well, they think they do. We think we do, but we don't.
Yeah, so then, honestly, one of my absolute favourite Survivor moments, I know we watched this about 5 times, was when they kind of fill Jono in, as if he doesn't already know, fill him in about this scroll. And then Jono just absolutely bamboozled, really just speaking for the viewer at home, was like, so you told everyone what was on the scroll?
He could not hide his flabbergast.
Disdain.
Well, yeah, I don't think he could quite believe it. Like, well, neither can I, really.
Neither can I. I don't think he would have ever seen that before, probably. You know, just...
Well,
he's seen it a lot, but
he was like, what is going on this season? Like, so Nash, you told everyone.
you love those moments where Jono can't keep it in.
Yeah, I love it. He's one of us, honestly. And then I just absolutely loved when Max gave him the scroll. And he's like, John was like, I can confirm this is the scroll. What? You confirm it is the scroll, right? Okay.
Whereas like 5 minutes earlier, he was like, so there's a scroll?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, John, you pretending you didn't know there was a scroll. You gave it to him last episode. And then he gives it back, and then you're confirming it is the scroll. You knew rightly there was a scroll.
Such a showman.
Oh, absolutely. And then Max says, well, Jonathan, you might not know, but I've got my own personal war on this trip.
I feel like Jono also knows this information at this point, but of course he has to ask Miles directly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Miles, do you know what this war that Max is talking about is?
Poor Miles. I feel like he looks quite befuddled by the whole thing.
But of course, Miles does know, because he says that Max was shouting across the beach at him about how he was like a jungle rat and how it was war.
But he then goes on to comment that jungle rats survive, which I thought was quite apt.
I like
or
that.
Or does he say that afterwards? I can't remember.
He's just accepted, right? This is going to be my thing, isn't it? I'm going to be referred to as the jungle rat from now on in the series. That's the edit. I'm getting the jungle rat edit.
Yeah. Oh, bless him. But I feel like he looks quietly confident at this point.
Is the snake edit worse than the jungle rat edit?
I would like a snake edit.
Yeah, you don't want a jungle rat edit.
Do you know what kept confusing me anyway when Max was talking about this scroll? When he kept saying he was sending people home. He's like, home time. I'm like, what? He's sending 2 people home he's just sending them back to the camp. Yeah. I feel like the producer should have cut that and be like, right, Max, can you stop saying you're sending them home? Because the viewers are going to be confused about this.
Yeah, we were like, does this scroll have extra powers that can just send 2 people out of tribal and literally home on a plane?
So he makes the absolute wild card decision that he's not said to anyone else in his alliance that he's going to send Laura and Karen home. But by home, he means back to camp. Which is... Everyone's befuddled.
Yeah.
Because he hadn't mentioned this. He's been having this alliance with like Logan, a pretty good alliance he's got. And then he just completely goes against it and sends 2 different people back to camp and decides he's back on the Miles train.
I'm honestly bamboozled by this now, because surely Laura was in his alliance. So if he'd have wanted to vote Miles, she could have easily been flipped in that tribal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why he chose who he chose.
So they thought the plan was Zara, and he's decided to change it to Miles, but didn't tell them.
If he's going to change it to Miles, then surely you would at least send home AJ, because AJ's Miles' number 1 alliance. To get him out...
Yeah,
I can't make heads or tails of it.
I'm trying to explain the unexplainable.
It was fantastic viewing.
And had he mentioned that he did want to do Miles before to Logan and Laura, and had they not been on board with it? Or
it was definitely the plan.
Well, it was the first plan when he read out the scroll. Story time, that was the plan, and he told everyone. But then he went to them and said, "No, that's not the plan. I want to send home Ali." They said, "No, can we do Zara?"
Yeah.
Plan sorted.
Yeah.
Little did they know he'd kind of looped back.
Alone
to Miles.
And we also see that moment with him in the shelter with Logan, and it felt like they were forming quite a strong alliance in that moment.
Yeah, but Logan's saying she trusts him and everything, and then...
I think he cannot be trusted. He's a loose nuclear bomb is what he is. He's not even a loose cannon.
Well, he said himself, didn't he? He's like, I'm in a war of my own.
Yeah.
And I'm the atom bomb or something like that. It's like, he's living up to it.
Yeah. I feel like he also referred to himself as being like chaotic or chaos, or he was talking in such a manner that made it seem like he was going to do something off the cards.
And he did.
And he did. But I mean, it didn't work out how he planned.
It didn't. I wasn't sure, actually, once that happened, which way the vote was going to go. It kind of felt like Miles looked defeated. It seemed like it was going to be his time to go. I wasn't ready to say bye to Miles personally.
No, I didn't want him.
I want to see more of Miles.
And then, so ironically, it was Ali that went, which was who both alliances actually wanted out.
Yeah.
Really, in the beginning, they could have all just come together.
Yeah.
We got there in the most convoluted way possible. Essentially, they could have got rid of the scroll and we would have had the same result by an episode earlier.
Well, it was a great tribal.
It was.
I thought
Yeah,
it was.
really was.
Yeah, that will go down in history again. I feel like the tribals of this series so far have just been so entertaining.
Yeah, because everyone's a loose unit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there is no plan.
Yeah.
Really, or no obvious plan that's definitely going to work. You go in there like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. I have a question for you.
Okay, go on.
You know how there's obviously been 3 very chaotic entities on this series, right?
Yeah.
If you had to be in an alliance with either Nash, Max, or Kent, which one would you pick?
I know which one it wouldn't be straight away.
Max.
Yeah.
Because you can't trust what he's going to say,
Yeah.
what he's going to do. Yeah.
Way too chaotic.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like, let me talk through them.
Even
for
Nash.
Nash, I feel like he would be very loyal to you if you were in his alliance.
Yeah, but then he's also throwing challenges and you might get voted out.
Yeah, he's also very dangerous to be in an alliance with for that reason.
And he's winding everyone up and then you might get voted out by association.
Potentially, but he could potentially be a good shield.
Yeah.
Then you've got Kent.
Yeah.
Who, did we really even see him sort of act?
Oh my God, I just thought, like, where was this Max energy for getting out Miles back when Kent was in it? They could have been
would have been unstoppable.
the atomic bomb alliance.
I think I would have to pick, I'd have to pick Nash for the lols.
Okay. I think I would go for Kent.
Yes, same.
Because he's a bit more subtle.
Well,
Don't get me wrong. I love Nash. I loved how he played the game. But in terms of playing with someone, I feel like at least if Kent got voted out, I'm less likely to be taken out as collateral.
Yeah.
Whereas with Nash, if you're in a solid alliance, everyone's going to know you're in an alliance because he's going to have told everyone and you're next.
yeah.
You know what, though? I feel like Nash would just be more fun to be in alliance with, whereas Kent might be quite scary.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking gameplay terms here, not which is more fun.
Okay, fair enough. I'm sticking with Nash. Are you going Kent as well, Kirst?
I think I'm going to choose Ken because I think, like Will said, he's a bit more under the radar, which seems very odd to say about someone that burned someone's hat and then admitted to it, like the next tribal, but he's still somehow more under the radar than Nash.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right, here's 2 names. Do you think Max will make it to merge?
So last episode, I said that yes, I thought he was. I thought he was playing it fairly under the radar, quite a popular tribe member. And things have gotten very different. I now feel like he won't make it to merge.
How can he?
He's burnt too many bridges.
Oh, but they are having tribe swap.
Oh, true.
Actually, because, you know, that does bring people together that don't really want to have to work together, but they're the only people from their tribe on the new tribe.
The only thing is, I'm trying to think, like, who from the Brains tribe could align with Max?
Well,
Rich.
And then I also think, like, potentially Logan and stuff, you know, if they're forced onto a new tribe, it's maybe the better the devil, you know.
Oh, that's a bad devil to know, though, in this game.
Oh, I know, but
A very unpredictable devil. Well, I'm gonna say no. I don't think he's gonna make it to merge anymore.
I'm going to stick by my answer from last time and say no, he's not going to make it to merge. Even with the tribe swap, he's just too chaotic.
Yeah.
And I think he's not good at hiding it either. So people, even if he ends up on a tribe with no one from this tribe, they're going to instantly discover that he's chaos.
I also said no last time and I'm going to stick by that no. Okay, and now a new name, Miles.
Miles, I'm going with yes. I do think he's going to make it to merge. I think we've seen some good strategic thinking from him. He's saying he wants to work with logical players. He's giving logical reasons for alliances forming to AJ.
Yeah, he's got an alliance now, and we saw that Kaelan sided with that alliance too. So you've got this graduate alliance.
That's a pretty strong alliance, I would say.
I think so.
So yeah, I think he is going to make it to merge.
Yeah, I agree. I think Miles will make it to merge, just for the same reasons, really.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Okay, my last question, and it's like a post-merge question. I think we're all pretty set on thinking that Paulie will make it to merge. But do you think he'll do well after merge because he's not going to have Nash there to help him with the social game?
Yeah, he's in big trouble. His social game's in the toilet without Nash.
Well, you think you're the best social player?
Oh, I can't wait for merge. But I can't wait for next week, actually.
Yeah, I mean, merge can wait, to be fair.
Yeah.
Just everything's happening now.
Non-stop chaos, really. Like, it's just been non-stop.
Well, that brings us to the end of another chaotic week on Australian Survivor. We will be back with more, hopefully equally chaotic chat next week. If you've enjoyed this episode, then you can like, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram. We're at Make It To Merge on Twitter, and we will be releasing new episodes every week.
If you want to email us, makeittomerge@gmail.com. You're pretty much guaranteed to be featured in the next episode, because I can't imagine we're going to be getting many emails. Please don't send us hate emails.